bring you greetings from His Excellency the President, who's also an artist. You know, he has in Penkoni, you know that song? Now he's doing a remix. It should be ready very soon, but this time with a different voice. The voice has changed a bit, I think, due to age, but the brain and the mind, he has spiced the Penkoni to come out as one of the biggest blockbuster. So I want to thank you, each one of you, and it's very necessary to expand training opportunities with a wider scope of courses, commercialization, monetization of Uganda's CCIS, impacted by challenges of poor access to markets, trade opportunities, creation and commercialization of cultural goods and services, hindered by lack of art and cultural infrastructure. CCIs in Uganda are poorly governed and regulated. So who will fix it? It is you and me. But KTA, well, if well trusted, I don't know whether Mr. Ojede is here. Is UNCC here? Now that is where we get a problem. These people should be here. This is their sector. They run it. They have a budget for it. I think next time the organizers, let's have a meeting with the senior minister, and also let's involve Honorable Peace Mutuzo, the Minister of Culture. We need to involve her as well in the next convention, so that we make it KTA, but also gender, so that we tap in either KTA and UNCC. You bring the legal part of it, and then they bring the business part of it. They should hear what you are saying. If they are not here, I'm in charge of children and young people. I'm in charge of political prisoners. So someone else is in charge of this, but it's our role as government to work as a team. I thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to address you. God bless you. And I believe now as a minister of young people, and most of the people in this sector are young, excluding His Excellency Senkubuge, I will work towards having these markets put in place in our next budget. When I joined the government, I found that the budgets had been, don't worry, I think it is Mohoz checking on me. So the budgets had been done. So we could not do much, but now we are advocating through our ministry with my senior minister, Beta Mongi, Honorable Akena. We are trying to advocate for more resources, though the cake is small, but we are saying art has been left out for so many years. The laws need to be modified. Imagine you have a UNCC law of 1959. That's a colonial law, but then things have changed. We are in a very dynamic world. The static thinking has changed. Then also, the role of culture and creative industry in community mobilization and mindset change has not been adequately utilized. We only use these artists to mobilize for our political work. We are not using the artists who can easily come and spread the PDM program to the common man. So we need to change that mindset. Culture and creative industry should be part of the PDM mobilization and all these other mobilization, so that you are listened to and liked by many, but also you also earn as artists. You also share part of these programs. Then lack of inclusivity of these art sectors. We have advocated for a fund, but surprisingly in Kampala the fund for artists, it has not been withdrawn. Many have not, I think they don't know that you have a fund that is readily available through Microfinance Support Center, where you can borrow. Maybe the conditions are too high. Like if you tell an artist to go and borrow money to develop your ABCD, your work, it could be really hard due to the fact they don't have securities. So maybe we need to do a grant to the art sector, or the art sector need to organize themselves into a big cooperative or circle where money is given to them and they mismanage it or they manage it well. Then how can creative industry contribute to Uganda's economic growth? Of course, through ticket sales, like we have been doing. URA takes 18% of the ticket sales they make at the entrance, and yet they are not giving us anything as government. Now I'm talking as a promoter, not as a government official. So we have art and craft merchandise. Just like I mentioned, we don't have markets for them, but we can help these youth and women to create government markets for art and crafts with banking. Then license fees. Mr. President was telling me, Mami Senkubuge, that nowadays to do a concert, KCC takes money from you For every banner is 50,000. For every this is that. Doing a drive is 500,000 per day in a division. So we have 5 divisions is 2.5. So you find the costs are high. Those license fees are uncalled for. They should not burden us with these license fees since we are paying the other biggest tax, which is 18%. Maybe you can pay one tax for KCC, like 500,000 to cover the area of jurisdiction of Kampala Capital City Authority. That is what we shall advocate for. As a promoter, I will ask the ministers that this has to change. I will speak to Honorable Mr. Kabanda to see that this is addressed. Then sponsorship and partnership. Very few artists get sponsorship from partners. So I encourage all of you who are here, development partners and the NGOs and etc. Let's support, let us empower these young people. Then grants and funding from government and foundations. This has been a challenge. The previous people mismanaged those grants. So people look at artists as people who are going to be just wasteful. But with the proper education and mindset change, as what is happening here today, this symposium, I believe with a few of the skills of financial management. Yesterday we interacted with Makerere University Business School students, with Right Honorable Nabanja, the Prime Minister. I met one friend of mine called Bajo, who was enrolled for a bachelor's in hospitality. Bajo would organize a concert. On the day of concert, he earns his 4 million. He goes to Kalenda guest house. He sits there with his friends, drinks it all, finishes it, and then the next day they will tell him you gave a check to Simba and the check has bounced. You tell you again never fake. So we had that challenge of financial management. Now yesterday Bajo said he has now learned a ledger. So he knows how to do a ledger. So you could organize some of these business conferences. As part, you have done the symposium on the legal part, but next time we put one element of business. So we organize like a small business paper for this support financial management. It has really been a very big problem. Then crowdfunding and tour packages. There are quite a couple of things that we need to support. Culture and creative industry also plays a critical role in community mobilization and mindset change. Then over 800 new permanent jobs in CCIs through provision of affordable businesses. Then availability of skilled and competitive talent through modernization. There are a couple of things that we can do to foster economic growth, to create jobs, and support our nation. I want to thank you once again, Edgar Tavaro, my friend Karuhanga Justus, and all the other partners, Musei, I don't know whether Musei is here, Musei Tavaro, and all the seniors who had a mind to start a law firm that gives back to community. As government of Uganda, we believe, and I pledge that the next symposium we shall work closely and see how we can support you so that we get bigger numbers, so that people know how they can unlock the bottlenecks that are affecting their industry with unique culture. The Local Government Act, Chapter 243, mandates the Minister of Local Government to assess the performance of culture in local government. Further, Article 178 assigns responsibilities. Uganda National Culture Center, Act 155 mandates UNCC to encourage and develop culture and artistic activities. Then we have the Stage Play and Public Entertainment Act. We have the Uganda National Culture Policy 2006 under review. There are so many policies that, however, there are specific changes that we need to make as government to make this industry prosperous. Culture and creative industry are highly capital intensive. Just like a marketeer for the sector, we need a lot of money to market for an activity. But also the content creators and the producers need money to do production, need money to think, need money. We do not have the infrastructures in place. It is still recently under GROW that we are almost signing a contract to develop our headquarters, the UNCC headquarters, the National Theatre, into a 18-story structure. I pray it comes through. This will create room for our innovators and the cultural players to sit under one umbrella. People in the creative industry should sit under one umbrella, and then also earn more money for the sector through rent, and also have a modern facility. In addition, accessing investment finance from financial sector by CCI sector players is a challenge due to perceived risk associated with this industry. The risks are not only in the industry, but also the industrial players are themselves a risk, because they will get the money and they will not use it for that purpose, some of them. But of course, His Excellency Nkubuge could use it for the right purpose, but some of them would use it either to buy cars and all these other things. So those are also challenges. Then financial institutions and stakeholders often prioritize more traditional sector, such as agriculture and energy. However, a country like Nigeria is collecting quite a lot of money through this sector. I think it is their second biggest earner at the moment. I believe this sector now, just like tourism, where we are earning close, we can earn close to 7% of the GDP if we invest in it. In addition, this sector employs quite a number of so many young people, as earlier mentioned. Once we allow these young artists in all the different sects of art work with the aim of preserving their art pieces or their music with proper laws, they can get better royalties and they can get rich. In addition, technological advancement, the risk of digital platform have reshaped the landscape of culture and creative industry. Then there also another challenge that we need to address is growth strategy of cultural infrastructure, like theaters. In Uganda, we have only one working theater, which is the National Theater, that belongs to government. And we don't have a gallery as of now. Art markets, there are few markets that are doing it, but those are privately owned by individuals. So we need to create a village, an art village, where people can have their things sold, where people can have their work displayed,